the disciple leaves the Gurukula in Shishyanushasanam, out of many instructions that the Guru imparts, like convocation, address and advice, one of them is Swadhyayanma Pramadaha. Whatever I say, do Sadhyaya, don't deviate from this Swadhyaya. Means self-study, Swa Adhyaya. You call it self-study or study of the self, whichever way. Idea is to spend time studying what already has been told to us. That is why in our scriptures, Shravanam, Mananam and Nididhyasanam, these are the three steps to attain knowledge. Shravanam is the first step. Second is Mananam, and finally is Nididhyasanam. The same thing put in another way by the Vedantins as, how do you know that this Vedantic truth is really true? So the same thing is Shruti, which is the Shastra Pramana, as I said, whatever has been spoken by the Rishis out of their experience, or by the Guru or by the Divine. And then you understand that the Mananam process is also a process of kind of a Yukti or Tarkavada. You analyze within yourself, you contemplate on it, and slowly realize the truth of it. And finally, Nididhyasana, you try to put it into practice. That is also called Anubhava, Swanubhava. By practicing it, you start realizing the truth completely. So from the hearing to contemplating and to meditating and practicing, that is when the knowledge is complete. So hearing it once, probably extremely ready soul, who has been readied over many, many births, for him or her, just listening to it once would bring back the memories of all the past, bring back the knowledge that is hidden inside, because all the tapas that was done in the past, so very quickly they can understand. It's like a boy who has done a lot of homework and then come to the class. So when the teacher starts speaking, he understands better because he has already done some pre-class reading and then come. He has not just come empty-handed, empty mind. Whereas somebody who has never put that effort and comes straight into the class swinging hands will not understand it in the same way or quickly. So some effort is required. And that is why when you are serious on a spiritual path, out of the Patanjali Yoga Sutra, this is a niyama, so you do some swadhyaya. Every day read something, read some scripture. So there is no question that has not been answered on this earth by somebody or the other. All questions have been answered. Either in the Vedic times of the Rishis or in the times of Rama or Krishna or through the Upanishads or through any of those Shastras or the modern gurus, sages, avatars, somewhere in some discourse, some book, somewhere the answer is there. It's just that we have not done enough homework. Therefore it is again and again that we ask the similar question, we get into a similar doubt. So one thing that you have to do is do Swadhyaya. If every day you study, dedicate an hour of your time, either morning or evening, reading what Swami has already spoken over so many years. Through his discourses, you go through his discourses, or even otherwise you pick up another scripture that is dear to you and keep going through it again and again. Slowly the meaning will reveal itself. That's why I always keep saying, Rishis did not have a guru to teach them. Their experience taught them. And the knowledge revealed itself. Mantra drishta, it revealed itself as a vision, as an experience. And then that experience has been written down again. So contemplating on that experience can also reveal the knowledge to you. Contemplating on that mantra or on that thought of the Rishi. So whatever has been said, one, you have to digest it. How? By mananam. And then try to put that in practice. Try to really believe in what you have heard, what you have analyzed. And see if that really makes sense to you or not. If it really makes sense to you, then you will understand that the knowledge is complete. Then you will not get any doubt. Ultimately, all doubts diminish only when you attain the oneness with the divine. That is what I was saying yesterday. Chidyante sarva samshaya. All the doubts disappear for the person who has become that. Because after becoming that, there is nothing else to be known. Kasminnu vijñāte. What is that which I should know? Sarvamidam vijñātam bhavati. All this will be known to me. That if you become, then there is no more knowledge to be known, because you are the knowledge now. You are that. Tattvam. You have become that. So there is no question. Till then questions will come, But one process is do lot of swadhyaya, read more, do study circles, satsangas, and that thereby also you try to develop this knowledge. What my job is to instigate that inquiry within you. That is all my job is. To put that spark in that coal. To ignite that idea of knowledge. That's all is my job. I am not here to impart all the knowledge of the world to you. Your knowledge is already there. I am here only to ignite that thought process. Like a starter plug is there, isn't it, in the car? You turn the key and it generates a spark and the car runs after that. After that, spark plug has no job. Does it have a job? It just starts the car, that's all, starter plug. That's all is the Guru's job, to ignite that self-enquiry, to ignite that thirst for knowledge, and leave it to the disciple now to do his part. And as he said, after much effort also you come back to the Guru, then you have not understood something, then of course, out of compassion, upadekshanti te ajnanam, ultimately what compassion, what he will tell, what you don't know only he will tell you. So that you can discard all these things and try to search what you know. Simple example, Bhagurvai Varunihi, Taittariya Upanishad, Bhruguvalli, Bhrugu goes to his father, Father, Adihi Bhagavo Brahmeti, please teach me about Brahman. I don't understand Brahman. What does the father say? Tapasa Brahma Vijignyasasva, go and meditate. He didn't even start a discourse on Brahman to him. See, Brahman, Satyam, Jagan, Mithya, nothing, not even one word. He simply said, go and meditate and see how all these things are originated. Annam, Pranam, Mano, Chakshu, all these, where is the origination of all this? Where is in what they sustain? And finally, where do they go, all this? Annam, Chakshush, Mano, Shotra, Pranam, all that he says, go and find out. See, he ignites self-inquiry, just lights the fire and leaves it. Saying, now you do tapas and keep finding out for yourself. And then what does Bhrigu do as a sincere disciple? He didn't say, this teacher doesn't tell anything. Let me find somebody else who will give me notes and I can just vomit afterwards. He says, okay, my teacher thinks that I have to find this out for myself. Let me go. And he starts doing his tapas and comes back. He observes the entire thing and says, looks like Annam is the very important thing. Everybody is Annam. And each animal is the Annam to the other animal. And when we all die, we become Annam to the earth. And again we come back. So Annam is the basis. And he goes and explains that to his father. Father, I got to know. What is Annam Brahma? A lot of us still believe Annam only is Brahma. We didn't go beyond that. All Annam Brahma, Brahmanandam means Annanandam. That's where our journey ends. But Bhrigu came back as an excited child. Father, I learnt Annam is Brahman because from Annam everybody is born. Into Annam, everybody is sustained by Annam. At the end of it, Samvishanti, everybody reaches Annam only. Therefore, Annam is Brahma. Father smiles and says, Tapaso Brahma Vijignyachasya, go back and do tapas again. So he saw tapo tapyata. He went on doing tapas again. So he did not come to father and saying, if it's so difficult, why don't you tell me? He's not going to tell because by telling that he's not going to understand anything. So he goes back, does, then he comes back pranam, then he comes back mano, then he comes back vijnanam, then comes back and says anandam. Last time when he gets to know anandam, actually he doesn't come back at all. He lost himself in anandam. So father gets up and says, where is my disciple son? He hasn't turned back, he's not come back yet. So he goes in looking for him and finds him lost in the feeling of anandam. He understands that my son has understood what is Brahman. Because after knowing that, there is nothing more to be known. Sarvamidam vijñātam bhavati. Everything is known to him now. That how Ananda is the basis of everything. How everybody wants Ananda alone. And all our activities, all our thoughts, words and actions are oriented knowingly or unknowingly, intentionally or unintentionally towards attaining Ananda only. Which is what he understands at the end of it and he becomes Ananda. Brahmavid Brahmaiva Bhavati. He becomes that, what he wants to know. So that is the role of a guru, to ignite that self-inquiry and then leave it for you to do the rest of the work. And when you really are putting that effort on the path and you get stuck somewhere, don't worry, Guru is right behind you. He is watching over you. Just in case you get stuck and you are sincere and you are Shraddhavan and then you are struggling, Guru will somehow appear. And through some way or the other, through a plant, through a tree, they say so many Gurus are there. So in some way or the other, he will teach you what you need to know at that moment, if you are a sincere seeker. So that should be the path of a true disciple. All right? So that why I am saying is that question answers are nice. At the end of it, you must ask 100 times. Try everything. You do your tapas. You do swadhyaya. You do some research. After that also you don't get a convincing answer. Meditate upon it. Analyze the answers given by various people. And understand what is coming from within. After that also if you don't understand something, then probably you are deserving of asking a guru. That too is how you should ask. Paripada, with complete humility, not to test Guru's knowledge or not to idle enquiry. Simply jignasu. People should know, at least if I am not Jnani, I am at least jignasu here in this ashram. But what did it say? I was told the other day, Ashtavakra said, Ajivam api jignasu. Whole life also this jignasu keeps asking questions. Parastatra vimuhyate. He still cannot attain, he will not be able to understand because he is only asking for the sake of it. So really Shraddha when you put, that is very important for a seeker of a spiritual nature. Worldly seekers I am not talking, but spiritual seeker must have done all his homework, put all the effort, thought and tried to analyze, given himself or herself a little time, a day, 2, a week, to understand. And by that tapas of continuously meditating on the thought, that knowledge will reveal itself to you. Like it revealed to Bhrigu. Simplest to the complicated. Everything can reveal itself to you because you are all the knowledge. Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam. You are that. That Jnana is within you. Isn't it? When you are the Jnana, why you have to go and take from somebody else? If there is a fire burning in your house, why do you have to borrow fire from somebody else's house? So the Jnanam is there inside each one of you. And then how do we get that Jnanam? You turn inwards. Do some tapas like Bhrigu about any questions that you get. Analyze and think and think and think. And after all these effort also, if you are not able to understand, get it, probably then you are deserving to come to a guru and ask to clarify. Not at the first instance. That is not the way of a disciple. Nor should it be the way of the guru to teach such people. So it also should be in your mind. Okay? When there is body and mind consciousness, it is near impossible to experience the absolute oneness. In a state of no mind and body, a state of absolute awareness remains, and forms do not appear. Are Nirguna and Saguna Upasana two different paths or two states of existence? When body consciousness is there, you cannot have the divine consciousness. When divine consciousness is there is no body consciousness. So when you are doing Saguna Bhakti, thinking you are the body and there is another body by name Krishna, and meditating, then how can you attain the Nirguna? And Nirguna, if you attain or you think like that, then there is no question of giving any importance to Saguna. So are these Saguna, Nirguna two paths or two states of existence? There are only two paths. Krishna said it right in the beginning. There is no question, there are not two states of existence. The states of existence is for God, Nirguna and Saguna. For the Bhakta, it is two paths. He said very clearly, between the two, this is the easier path. So what happens when you choose this path? All paths will ultimately lead you to Nirguna only. There are no two states of existence at the end. At the end, there is only one existence. There is no two. So can you think that by thinking continually of Krishna, you will become Krishna? No. You will become Krishnamayam. You will not become Krishna. You will not be another Krishna. So Saguna Bhakti or Nirguna Bhakti, these are two paths and ultimately lead you to state of only one state of existence. That is Nirguna only. You will also become Nirguna. You will not be different from that. And Krishna also will become Nirguna because there is Krishna. He becomes the Parabrahman. When you reach that Nirguna, Bhakti fulfills itself. So these are two paths. Attainment of both the paths is one, which is Nirguna. Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta Nirmala Swarupinam. That is what you will attain. Respected Narsimurti sir said, God is Kutastha, inside everyone. Is God inside everyone or the whole of creation, including all mind, body, unites? Some Advaitic are just a tiny speck within the divine consciousness. He is within me or I am within him. When rivers enter the ocean also enters the river. Both isn't it? When you become that, that becomes you too. So are you in God or God is in you? Both are true. It just depends on which perspective you take. Somebody who is floating in the ocean, he will see the river coming to the ocean. Somebody who is on this side will see the ocean merging with the river. It's just your perspective. When you become God, God becomes you too. Because there is nothing. You see, when you break a pot, the air inside the pot becomes the air outside the pot also. Both are same. So is this question of whether I become him or he becomes me, it's actually to me, it's not at all a question. When there is only one, how can you become that or that? So he's asking, our existence is only to the extent of a bubble on the water, that's all. So when bubble bursts, what becomes what? Bubble becomes water or water becomes... Bubble bursts, that's it. After that, there is only one. There are no two. This bubble has to burst, that's what I say. This bubble is what? It's filled with the individual consciousness, that is this ahankara bhava, which is like the air inside the bubble. The moment that ahankara bhava goes, you join the water, you become the water. There is no separate existence. So somebody asked me, then I like this example because say, all this world looks so real. How is it that? It's like the reflection on the bubble. Reflection on the bubble is only to the extent of the existence of bubble. The bubble bursts, reflections disappear. So the world disappears for the person who has become one with the ultimate. So whether you exist in God, yes. Whether God exists in you, yes. Whether you both exist in each other, yes. Whether none of you exist, yes. Can a bhakta attain the highest state of nirguna, parabrahma, attained by a jnani? Is a guru required for the transcendence? Or will it happen by itself, by God's grace? In Sri Ramakrishna's case, Saint Totapuri was the instrument. Can Swami clarify? Can bhakta attain nirguna, nirakara? Of course, yes. Deha bhavena dasoham, jiva bhavena tadamshaka, atma bhavena tomevaham. Hanuman himself said this. The moment I shift my attention to Atman, I am you. The moment I focus myself as a body, I am your servant. And the moment I think I am just a jivatma, I am a part of you. So can bhakta, Hanuman is a great bhakta of Rama, can he become a jnani? Of course, yes. Is guru required for the transcendence or God's grace will help? So what happens? In some cases, God himself is the guru. For Arjuna, Krishna himself is the guru. And by his grace, Arjuna is learning. Others call Guru Brahma. His guru only is God. See, who is a guru? Unless he is a realized person himself, can he help you realize? Unless he knows, can he teach you? Unless he has experience, can he grant you that experience? Not possible, right? So a guru is already God. A true guru is already God. Because he has realized, that is why he has the qualification to teach you. Guru in our context is the one who has attained the highest, Guri. The highest he has attained. He is a guru. So one who has attained that, he is already God, isn't it? He is only in the form out of compassion for the disciple. So where God's grace will help you that, yes, if like Eklavya, you directly pray. But thing is that in our culture, guru has been given importance. But the true guru, the one who knows it, is the real guru and he is equivalent to God. In fact, in our scriptures, we go to glorify it so much. It says greater than God. So Guru only Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Mahesha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahman. Tasmai Shri Guru Namaha. So the Guru, if you get that kind of a Guru, you have got God himself, think like that. In fact, you got greater than God. This is the glory of the Guru. So do we need a Guru in this path? Of course, yes. Can your Guru be your God? Yes. Can your God be your Guru? Yes. If you are a Nirguna Bhakta, you don't have a concept of a God at all. You think in Nirakara, Niranjana Swarupa. Who is your Guru then? Your Atman will be your Guru. It will guide you from within. If you are sincere as a sadhaka, or you learn from anything. You learn from the river, you learn from the tree, you learn from the mountains, you learn from the bee. There's an Upanishad that is said. You know the story of Chabalasya Putra Satyakamaha. Satyakama went to a guru to learn Vidya. Unfortunately, he did not have any knowledge of his lineage. So the Guru asked, what is your father's name, which Gotra you are from, and things like that. He went back to his mother and said, Amma, I don't know which Gotra I am from. Tell me who is my father. The mother says, I don't know your father. I worked in many homes. I don't know who is your father. All I can tell you is that you are my son. I am Jabala. You are my son, Satyakama. And this little boy, with the frankness and the honesty, straight away went to the Guru and said, Aham Satyakamo Jabalasya Putraha. The Guru was stunned because in that time saying something of this nature, that too when you are seeking an admission in a reputed school, you don't have any name for the father's column. It's a big thing, but the Guru's compassion, you see. He said, you are honest. Only a Brahmin is supposed to be honest. This kind of honesty is expected only of somebody of very pure, refined origin. Not everybody can be honest like this. Was Karna honest? Karna was not honest. He lied to his Guru, isn't it? So he got cursed. But this boy said straight away, I only know my mother. This is my mother, I don't know my Gotra. So Guru adopted him and said, you are under my care. But what did he give him? Cows, and said, you cow and cow to go to the forest. I can't take you into the school right now, but you do this sadhana. You go to the forest and take care of these cows and calves. They are 300 in number. When they become 1,000, you return back, he said. And for several years, Satyakama stayed in the forest, not in the school, not in the hostel, not in the Gurukula. And just did what his Guru told him to do. Look after the cows and calves. And there are some bulls. And finally, till it becomes 1,000, don't come back, he said. So many years it took for the cows and calves and numbers to grow to 1,000. But during that time, he did not waste it. He watched the nature around him. He thought, why my Guru would send me to a forest just to look after the cows and calves? Now there is more. And he learned from everything. So when his Guru comes after 1,000 cows, he doesn't come back. His Guru comes searching for him as usual. And then he tells, who was you? Guru, I have seen you in everything. I have learned from so many. And there is a whole Upanishad behind that. He learned from the bee, from the river, from the tree, from the fish. All are his Gurus, he says. So the one who wants to learn, he will find knowledge in every corner of the world because he seeks knowledge. And the one who seeks knowledge, knowledge seeks him. So he sought knowledge, knowledge sought him. And he learnt about Brahma Vidya from the nature, not from directly his Guru. So Guru is required, yes, because Guru can guide you as to where you can go and learn also. And your Guru could be anybody. But Guru, in our tradition, in whichever form, the knower of the Brahman is called Guru. And that Guru is a must, is to have, one has to have to grow on spiritual path. But when was the Guru become available to you? When you are truly a sadhaka. Even for Satyakama, his Guru told, you are my Shishya, but I will not start teaching you right away. There is some more learning that you must have. And therefore you go to the forest, and gave him a very ordinary job. Suppose somebody seeks admission over here and we tell, okay, we'll take your son, but first 10 years he has to look after Goshala. Then we will discuss about his education. How many of you will be having the Shraddha to do that? They'll say, no, if you don't do, I'll go to some other school. But that time people were so Shraddhavan. They wanted to learn. So they sought knowledge. And how he sought knowledge? In the forest, amidst the nature. And nature taught him the knowledge of Brahman. So he learnt everything from the nature. So Guru, in some form, it could be a cow, it could be a tree, it could be a sweeper, worker, anybody. In Siddhi Baba's story also, same thing, he continues from there and says, you go to the Bombay and there is one maid servant. You learn from her. And he's wondering, what will I learn from maid servant? And then he realizes how she is happy. Wearing the new dress as well as the old dress, does not matter. Sama buddhi. So Shirdi Baba tells, learn from the servant maid. So Guru can be anybody, but Guru is a must on this path, yes. Lakshmana has said to Lord Rama, whatever is your will, that I will do. My only duty is to obey you. But he felt grief-stricken when Lord Rama told to choose a place and build a hut. Would it not have been more right not to question Lord's request and act accordingly? Whatever is your will, I will do. It means if Rama said, choose any spot and build the hut. Lakshmana should have said, okay, Rama, and then he went around searching whichever spot he liked, he should have built the hut. Instead of saying and crying, saying, why do you punish me like this? Do I have a will of my own? Am I not here to just obey you? So, which is right is the question he's asking. Sometimes you come and ask me, what do I do? I say. Some people are just waiting to hear that. Abba, now I can do what I want. I don't have to follow Swami's tough instructions. If that kind of buddhi is there, then you better ask me and do things. But Lakshmana's buddhi was pure. He was not opportunist, he was looking for an opportunity. Just in case Rama tells you build on top of the mountain, oh, that's going to be a tough task. If Rama says wherever you build, I will build in the easiest and the most comfortable place. He didn't think like that. He was so pure-minded. With that pure mind, he submitted to Rama with complete surrender. Oh Rama, please, I don't want to have a will of mine. You simply point a place. Isn't it? So because of his purity of mind, he deserves to say this to Rama, and he is not wrong in saying that. But how many people really with that great surrender ask God what they have to do? They have to ask, because if you don't ask, then tomorrow you'll have to face me, and then I'll ask you if you don't ask me. Enduku chesavu itla? Enduku poyavu akada? Valto enduku kalisavu? Enduku maatladutunnavu? Everything I'll ask you. So what do you say? Swami, itla ochindi, adi ఎలా చేయాలంటే మీరు ఎలా చెప్తే అలా చేస్తాము. బట్ ఇన్ ద హార్ట్ ఆఫ్ హార్ట్, ప్లీజ్ స్వామి, డోంట్ సే దిస్. ఇఫ్ యూ సే దిస్, దెన్ ఐఎమ్ డన్. దట్ ఆల్సో ఇస్ దట్. డూ యూ హ్యావ్ దట్ మనసేకం, వచసేకం, కర్మనేకం? ఇఫ్ దాట్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ త్రికరణ శుద్ధి is there, then there is no question whether you are right or wrong. You will always right. But without that trikarna shuddhi, you simply come and ask. And then in heart of hearts you play, please Swami, choose this only and not that. Many people, this 10th class is the biggest drama. They'll put cheats, Swami, which subject to take, commerce, arts, science. But in your heart of hearts, they have already decided, many of them. They're just praying that Swami, just choose this and not the other. They're in a heart of hearts, they're praying. So for such people, what should I answer? Neeku ela kavalo cheskoya. Your wish, do as you please, because you are not here to follow my wish any which ways. But Lakshmana was not like that. Lakshmana was pure-hearted. So what I say is that kind of surrender, if you have, Lakshmana is right. Because he felt, Rama, I don't have a will of my own. Did you think that I have a will of my own? Please. And that also Rama did to show to Sita about Lakshmana's tremendous devotion, because they just entered that. They crossed Dandakaranya, came here. During Dandakaranya, what happened? Rama was walking in front, Lakshmana behind, and Sita in the middle. Suddenly on the way, Lakshmana started cursing himself, cursing his fate, cursing this idea of forest. Even in a way started blaming Rama. He saw Sita's feet were all bruised, and he started feeling terrible. His feet were hurting, and he started saying all kinds of things. So Sita got very disturbed, because she was the one who was hearing it first, right from behind. So she tapped on Rama's back and said, what is this going on behind me? What happened to him? He's talking in such a negative way. Then Rama didn't say anything. He just gave an indication, keep quiet, don't say anything. And then they crossed and came out of the forest. And then they reached where they reached in Panchavati to build the kutira. At that point in time, Lakshmana suddenly fell into a remorse. He fell at Rama's feet and saying, Rama, what happened to me? What was I blabbering through the journey? Why was I speaking like this? I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have said things to you like this. Even this realization happens to our people also, isn't it? In some moment of weakness, Swami, you are no God, you are this, you are that. Are you even God at all? Then, after some time, realization comes. Ayyo, what have I been speaking? I'm so sorry, Swami. So Lakshmana fell at Rama's feet. Sita is confused now totally. Just a while ago, he was all cursing Rama. Now, a while later, he's falling into. So Rama said, that time we were passing through Dandakaranya. And there were a lot of demons. He's infested with a lot of demons and negative energy. And that has influenced your mind. And because of that, you were speaking the way you were speaking. Now we are out of Dandakaranya. Now we are in a pure place. Therefore, you are not having those thoughts anymore, and you are now regretting that. But don't worry, you are pure. Don't curse yourself. Don't trouble yourself with the thought that you have said things like this. He told Lakshmana. And to further prove that he is actually so pure, he said this. Okay, build a hut wherever you want. And what did Lakshmana say? Rama, still you are doubting me. I said all kinds of things just a while ago in the Dandakaranya. And Sita is still confused. What is going on between these two brothers? Because she is just new. And then Lakshmana cries and says that is the way Rama shows to Sita also, that Lakshmana is so pure-hearted. It's just the influence of the Sangha dosha, or Sangha, the Sahavasa. or whatever, the influence of the negative. That's why I always say don't go to negative places. However smart you are, if you enter a room full of what you call kajal, black, can you come out without getting even one spot on yourself, however smart you are? So don't enter a negative area, negative company. Be with devotees, be with people who have faith in God, so that you will always be pure-hearted. So, but Lakshmana's case is not like our most of 10th class boys. He was very pure-hearted, and that's why he cried. So don't trouble me like this, Rama. So he is different. So if you have attained that pure bhakti, you are also right in doing that. Otherwise, if you don't have that, you have a mind of your own, then better ask Swami and simply follow without using your mind. That will be the right thing to do. Is it okay to have complete unalloyed dedication to work and then renunciate the results of fruits thereof to the Lord's feet? Can dedication to work be higher than dedication to the Lord? How is these two different, you tell me? Dedication to the work for the Lord is equal to dedication to the Lord. Isn't it? Is there two different things? If I work for Swami, if I do something for Swami dedicatedly, what is happening? I am dedicating myself to Swami only, isn't it? Work is only a process of dedication. But ultimately, whom are you dedicating? So if you practice music very well, are you dedicated to music? Or music is the process for you to dedicate your skills to Swami? Isn't it? So music is only a process. Yes, somebody from outside will look at, he's such a dedicated singer, he's such a dedicated worker, he's such a dedicated volunteer. They may say, but in your heart of hearts, what you know? All this dedication to my work is nothing but Swami. Work is worship, duty is God. That is what I am doing here. I have no different things. If I am dedicated to my work, I am actually dedicated to Swami only. Can a priest say, I am very dedicated to puja, but I am not dedicated to Shiva? But I will do all pujas to Shiva, but I am not dedicated to Shiva. How can these two be different according to me? Both are same. If you are dedicated in your work, which you are doing for God, indirectly you are dedicated to God only. Because the very fact that you are dedicated to work is because you wanted to offer it to God in the first place. Dearest Swami, in Bhakti Yoga there is duality as God and devotee. But you mentioned that if devotee surrenders the fruit of action and doership to Lord, then does that become Jnana Marga? Is Bhakti Marga to attain the divine is a means to Jnana Marga? So, or Bhakti Marga, Karma Marga, Jnana Marga each have their own progressive steps. Is Bhakti Marga a way to Jnana? Yes, of course, at the end of it, Advaita Darshanam Jnanam, that is the highest. Nahi Jnanena Sadrasham. Everything is Jnana at the end of it. I and my Lord are one. We are not two. Bhakti Marga is a path. But what it ultimately leads you to? To the same goal. Is Bhakti Marga as a stepping stone to Jnana Marga? I said no. Bhakti Marga is to Jnana. Jnana Marga is to Jnana. Bhakti Marga is not to Jnana Marga to Jnana. Bhakti Marga is to Jnana. Jnana Marga is also to Jnana. Karma Marga is also to Jnana. Jnana Marga and Jnana are not same. Jnana Marga is the method to attain Jnana. What is the method? Do self-inquiry. Atma Vichara. Meditate on this truth. Pick up a mantra. Spend your time thinking about it again and again and again till your mind becomes one with that ultimate supreme Brahman. So Jnana Marga is not Jnana. Jnana Marga is still a Marga. So will Bhakti Marga lead to Jnana Marga? No, it will lead to Jnana. It will not lead to Jnana Marga. But are they different from each other? Not really true. Two totally different. Because you do the knowledge. Like Sakuba is making Pidkalu, cow dung cakes. And what does she chant? Panduranga. Panduranga. She is Vitala, Panduranga, she is chanting. So she is meditating on what? Panduranga. Meditation is a path of Jnana Marga. On a thought. But she is doing what? Making Pidkalu. She is not picking flowers and offering to Panduranga. So this is not really doing bhakti from the strict bhakti point of view. That you go to a temple and do this and that. No rituals. She is making cow dung cakes. So this is karma marga. That is her duty she is doing. But what she is doing, she is dedicating all the duty and efforts to God. So it is karma marga only. But how she is doing? She is not doing out of some compulsion. Panduranga didn't ask, make 100 pedikalas by tomorrow morning and offer me. This is her daily chore. But she is doing out of love for Krishna. She is not doing because she has to cook food for the family. That is by and by. So just by making cow dung cakes, she has encapsulated all three margas in it. This bhakti, I do it for the love of Krishna or Panduranga. Not because I want to feed my husband or children. It's my offering to Panduranga. Whatever I do, I offer to Panduranga. Out of love she is doing, not out of any compulsion. She is doing, meditating on Panduranga. The dhyana. That is also there as a part of it. And also she is performing a karma. She is not sitting quietly. Nor she is offering flowers and rituals. So how can they all three be different? They are not three different. All margas are somewhere like parallel roads. You see, and a jnani will understand all these roads are more or less same. It's just that, let's say 3 lanes of the same highway. Think like that. You have Bangalore, Chikbalapur highway, whatever highway. In a lane you have 3 lanes, right? Somebody is in the fast lane, somebody is in the middle lane, somebody in the slow lane. But all the lanes are on the same road and the road is leading to the same goal. So think Bhakti, Jnana and Karma Marga like 3 lanes on the same highway. So can you change the lanes? If need be. Are they different from each other? Yes, but no, because they are part of the same road. But somebody prefers going slowly, safely on the, or his vehicle is like that, he is not allowed to go onto the fast lane. So one day children made an exhibition. They said, an aeroplane was there. They said, this is Swami Jnana Marga, very fast. It reaches. Achha. Then he said, Swami, this is train. This is Karma Marga. It goes slowly. It takes 1 day to reach. So then they put a bullock cart. This is Bhakti Marga. Slow and steady. I told, so which is better? I asked them. Swami, Jnana is fast. You can reach very quickly. Then I said, but what about if accident happens? Bullock cart, no risk. Slowly it's going. What accident can it have? But in the other 2 cases, the accident is very high, the rate. So you decide, I told the children. So you cannot say that this is better or less. As I said, easier is the Bhakti Marga. And what is the great big hurry to reach God tomorrow? That is another madness among some of the people here. When means, yes, you will realize. Kalena Atmani Vindati. Everybody will realize. Should be ready for that. You are getting ready. Tat Swayam Yoga Sansiddha. When you are ready in your yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Raja Yoga, whatever yoga you have. When you are ready in that yoga, you have perfected that yoga, Kalena Atmani Vindati. It will come to you. You don't have to go behind. As I said, as much you seek the knowledge seeks you. So it will seek and come to you when you are ready. So get yourself ready, either through any of these yogas. So don't have any conflict. At the same time, this appeals to you. This is how you can do. You can't sit a minute in meditation. Forget the Jnana Marga is not going to happen. You are not somebody who can always remember God and think of God and like Sakubai keep doing everything, chanting Vittala. Forget Bhakti. Karma Marga, you are a volunteer, you are a servant, you are an office manager, you are a peon. Do work for God's sake and offer it to God. That's all. Selflessly. Engage in selfless service. Don't have any selfish motivations. Karma Marga. So do any of the things, but ultimately none of these are very different from each other. Somewhere a little bit of one is always in the other too. Dear Swami, you talk about surrender. You talk about co-creation with the divine. Sudama and Arjuna both devoted to God. Yet Sudama was granted material boons. But Arjuna and Krishna gave the world the Bhagavad Gita. What is the difference between the 2 kinds of devotees? Arti, Artarthi, Jignasu, Jnani. Kuchela was Arti. He was having trouble. Artarthi was. He expected something from Krishna. He came asking for that. So Krishna said, Tatastu, what you ask for, you will get. Had he come to ask Krishna for Jnana, being a Brahmin himself, being a classmate of Krishna, he could have asked more than that. But his troubles in life were so that he only asked so much, he got that. But Arjuna was not even willing the kingdom. He didn't want the kingdom. He said, I don't want this kingdom. I don't want to be a king. I will rather be a beggar. So he was not attached to any of these things. He was beyond Arti Artarthi, but he was reaching the Jignasu stage because he was questioning why this, why not that? Why should I behave like this? So he was a Jignasu and therefore he got Bhagavad Gita. So what you ask from God, that is what you get. You go to Kalpavriksha, ask for a half kg coffee podi, you get coffee podi only. Because that's what your wife asked to get from the market. If you go to Kalpavriksha and ask for Brahma Jnana, Kalpavriksha is capable of giving that too. So it depends on the Bhakta, not on the Bhagavan. Swami, how do we know which qualities of us are from the past lives? How do we overcome some of the unwanted qualities of this? Which qualities are from the Purva Janma, Vasanas, they are saying. And how do I know? See, Vasanas are like very fundamental. The expression of Vasanas will change according to your time, place and situations. Isn't it? Vasanas are the basis, fundamental, on which you react to any circumstances. For example, anger is a Vasana. Let us say you were direct disciple of Durvasa in some point in time. You are born here now in this ashram, is a different story. Isn't it? So basic anger is always there inside. And it shows up in every little thing. You are angry with yourself sometimes, you are angry with your people, and sometimes angry with Swami. Even somebody who you cannot get angry with, you get angry with. It means what? Your vasanas are beyond logic. Vasanas are those who are beyond any logic. They are uncontrollable. You get my point? So those are vasanas. And whom do you show it on? That depends on the situation. So vasanas are the very basic, deep-rooted samskaras which have come with you. And for every small thing you are going to express it in some way or the other. For somebody it may just stop at a thought. For someone else it will express itself as a few words. And for somebody else you will have a fist fight. But everything is happening because of the inner vasana which is controlling your word or your thought or your hands and legs. But the anger is from inside. That anger is coming from, so the vasanas are that which is not in your control. In the sense, there is no logic to their expression. After doing only you realize whether there is a logic or not. But then, while doing you don't realize it. Whereas, samskaras, the good samskaras, susamskaras are those which you choose and do. So vasanas, can they be positive vasanas? Yes, they can also be there. If you put a dry fish in the paper, it will smell of dry fish. If you put jasmine flowers in the same paper, it will smell of jasmine flower. Both are vasana. Vasana in Telugu means scent, of smell. Correct. So if your mind in the past has been living with lot of yogis and good people, you have good qualities, that is also vasana. Inadvertently you will do good things. Even if somebody shouts at you, you will never be able to shout back. Because your vasanas were jasmine flowers in your mind. Whereas if you had dry fish in your paper behind in the past birth, immediately you will react. So vasanas are those which are driving our minds without our control, and there is no logic. That's when you learn. Whereas when we acquire samskaras in this birth, by learning from others, we can discriminate and act. Vasanas don't allow you to discriminate because they are so strong. So once you have recognized this is your vasana, it's a good vasana, no problem, go ahead, don't have to. But if you see the bad vasana, then you have to pay attention to it. So I give this example. Once you have been bitten by a dog, next time when you see dogs standing on the road, what will you do? Straight walk into them, give your leg. What will you do? Ayo, these dogs are there. Last time one dog bit me. What should I do? Take another route. Or wait for the dogs to disperse. So how do we control vasana? This is our discrimination. What do you do? Last time it happened that I met this man, and the moment I saw him, that's it. There was one Jwalamukhi. I couldn't control my anger because the moment I saw this person. So what next time you take the other path? Till you have developed enough control on your own anger. So that's why I say avoid that path. Avoid those people or those dogs who are standing. Now in office where you cannot avoid, let's say the next person sitting on the next desk is the reason for your vasanas to flare up. Then what do you do? Then you prepare yourself at home. I am going to office, and the first thing I am going to see is that person. And the moment I see that person, first thing happens is in my whole body there is a fire. So you prepare yourself beforehand. And don't directly walk into when you cannot avoid. But more than that, start developing this thought. See, in everybody there is Bhagavan is there, Swami is there. Something Swami is teaching me through this person. Maybe he's trying to test whether I'm controlling my vasanas, whether I'm working on it, whether I'm succeeding on it or failing on it, how much more effort I have to put. Maybe he's teaching me. So use this in positive way, then you will overcome that vasana. So it all depends on your effort that you put. Swami, how to become Sakha to God? What are the qualities that we should develop so God accepts us as His Sakhas? You want to become near to God. Sakha means near to God. Then you have to become dear to God. What qualities? The whole of 12th chapter is full of qualities. Pick up one quality is all I'm saying. You have Jiva, this is a question for me. You have a Jiva Prajna and also Daiva Prajna. We get carried away by your Jiva Prajna. So please bless us that we don't get carried away by the Jiva Prajna. We always remember your Daiva Prajna is the question. So I always told you that there are both to every avatar, isn't it? A Jiva Prajna and Daiva Prajna is common. You cannot get one and not the other. If a body has been taken and there is a mind in it, even the purest of the mind has a Jiva Prajna. Krishna has a Jiva Prajna. At the same time, what do? See, when you look at, when I am looking at this pillar, I cannot look at the flowers. When I look at the flowers, I cannot look at the pillar, isn't it? So it all depends on where you put your mind. You put your mind always on the Daiva Prajna part of it and analyze every action from the Daiva Prajna point of view. Then Jiva Prajna will fade away into the background. But if you always focus on the Jiva Prajna, then Daiva Prajna will fade away into the background. Everything you will see the humanness. Whereas otherwise, even in its human ways, you will see divine. So it depends on training your mind, how to interact with the master, how to develop your ability to focus on the divine side and focus less on the human side. The more and more you practice, the more adept you will become on that. So you have to practice that. Ultimate purpose of bhakti is to merge in you. In many places you have quoted that we all have emerged from you. Then why you want to test yourself by immersing us in Maya? I'm immersing everybody in Maya. Why do you test yourself? Whether I am capable of immersing them in Maya? Am I capable of troubling them? Or they can escape my Maya? This is the question. It means you got into Maya and you're simply saying, Swami, it's because of you. You created Maya, so we are in the Maya. Now you're testing your own capability of keeping us drowned in Maya. If I had to only test that, why do I have to come and preach all these things? Isn't it? Why should you take an avatar? Why should you come into the world, limit yourself in a human dimension and deal with all the humans too? So the fact that the one who really believes that everything has emerged from me and will merge back in me, where is this Maya question for such a person? Where is the question of Maya? See, theoretically you can talk all these things. The moment you practically experience that you have emerged from me, where is Maya? Taranga iva sagare, that's what it says, Ashtavakra. Like the waves come out of the ocean, that's all is your existence in this world. You have come out of Atman. You are playing on the Atman and you will merge back in Atman. Can a wave say, you put me in Maya ocean, you made me a wave. And you differentiated me from you. And you are testing me or enjoying this difference. Can a wave say that? Can the froth say that to the ocean? You made me a froth. Froth knows, wave knows, and ocean knows that we are all one. So there is no complaint there. So if you really, really, truly believe this thought, you have got this thought that we all have emerged from the divine. This is an amazing thought. Now contemplate on that thought. Where is this Maya? Maya does not exist. That is the truth. I'll give you one story. So one story is there. One king was there. He had 3 sons. So for mathematics people, this story is basic maths. King had 3 sons. So when he was decided that he has to become Vanaprasthi now, he has to go to the forest. I have to divide my kingdom amidst the 3 sons. So to the first son he gave half the kingdom. 1/2. Everything to the first son. To the second son he said, I'll give you 1/3 of everything. The third son he said, I'll give you 1/9 of everything. And he decided on this formula and went off to the forest. Now everything was getting divided, the gold, the jewelry, the lands, and everything could be divided into 1 by 2 or whatever, 1 by 3, 1 by 9, whatever. Correct. Now they had 17 elephants. And they had to be divided between the 3. 17 elephants to be divided between 3 sons in the same formula. How will you divide? So all of 3 are fighting. How can we divide this? 17 divided by 2, 1 elephant will become half. 17 divided by 3, how is it possible? 6, how is 9, how is it's not possible, let us not. So they all started fighting and fighting and fighting. And then what happened? The mantri came. Mantri brought 1 more elephant, his own elephant. He said, why are you people fighting? Take this elephant. Now how many are there? Oh, 18 elephants are there. Okay, now divide between yourself and the same formula. Right? So what happens now? 18 divided by 2. So half the elephants are gone with the older son. Then 18 divided by 3. How many elephants are gone? 6 elephants gone. Now 18 divided by 9. 2 are gone. What is the count now? 17. And the mantri takes his 18th elephant and goes back. That is Maya. It does not exist. Yet it is an answer for everything that exists. You add those 9 plus 6 plus 2. It is 17 only. The formula also is same. Then why did this elephant come and why did this elephant go? That is Maya. It does not exist, yet it appears to exist, but it gives us the answer to everything. Why am I experiencing sorrow? Why am I experiencing dvesha? Why am I experiencing this difference? Because of Maya. But unfortunately, the Maya does not exist. The moment you realize that, everything falls in place. So this Maya concept itself is an illusion. And so if you really, really believe on this thought that I have emerged from God, I am like the wave on the ocean. I am not separate from my existence with God. So where is the question of me testing you or you testing me? Simply the whole world will become a source of great joy. What a beautiful creation. I float on God, I live in God, I merge back in God, and yet I never die, I'm never born. Look at the beauty of Advaita. The one who understands that, how much joy is that? He'll see everything is a Leela of the Lord. And enjoy it. How beautiful this whole creation is. How Prakriti and Paramatma dance together. The Ardhanarishwara. In every Prakriti there is Paramatma. In every Paramatma there is Prakriti. This is Ardhanarishwara. The whole creation is Ardhanarishwara. You enjoy, you start dancing. You get into bliss by watching a sunrise or a sunset. Everything becomes a joy. Where is the Maya? So that Maya does not exist. But why am I not experiencing this joy? Because of Maya, which does not exist. Like the 18th elephant, which does not exist. But you feel it exists and therefore you suffer. So the moment you believe completely on this thought that it does not exist, it still ceases to exist. A ghost in the dark exists only if you believe it exists. You switch on the light, where is the ghost? Where is the dark? It does not exist. So why the fear in you? Because you thought the ghost exists in the dark corner of the house. Many of the hostel students, no, in that bathroom, the last bathroom, there is a ghost. Isn't it? So nobody opens that bathroom ever. That's sealed like that forever. Somebody creates a story. I went there, some sound was coming. And then onwards, nobody goes that side. So that's how it does not exist. But we think it exists. And we start worrying and fearing it. The moment we face it, go open the door and see, switch on the light. No ghost. So what happens? That time the students don't have the courage. So they say, warden, sir, you come with me, let us check. So warden, out of his compassion, he knows that the ghost does not exist in the bathroom. But out of his compassion, to remove the fear from your heart, he comes with you, comes with a torch, puts the light, switches on the light or whatever, and opens the door and sees, there's no ghost here. That's all Guru does. He comes with you saying, there is no Maya, don't worry. You're simply getting afraid. Simply you're frightened. Come, I'll come and show you there's nothing that exists like Maya. The moment the disciple realizes it, he's free from all fear. So to that extent only Guru's role is, that is what again and again I am trying to tell you. Krishna made Pandavas suffer so much, made Draupadi get humiliated. So much they went through. Why Krishna was not compassionate to the Pandavas? They were good people, they suffered at the hands of Kauravas. And they went through all that they had to go through, especially Draupadi had to go through. She has special feel. Last time she asked similar question about Sita to me. Why did Sita suffer? Why did Rama made Sita suffer? So now I know she feels for that woman who is helpless in the hands of the men there. So why did Krishna not come to the rescue? He made a Laksha Graha for them. You know that story? Laksha Graha kattistar kada. Duryodhanadu. And he says, I have made a nice Kodaikanal retreat for you in the forest. You all go there and live there. I have arranged everything. And fools them into going there. But they are so innocent. They don't realize that it's a plot. It's a scheme of Duryodhana to kill them and get rid of them. So they innocently walk into that. So what does Krishna do? He sends a man who can dig a tunnel. But he can't even speak because Duryodhana's spies are everywhere. So what does he do? He sends a man with a small rat in a cage and says, Krishna has sent this for you as a gift. And Dharmaraja, the Sukshma Buddhi, understands immediately, why would Krishna send me a mouse in a trap with this man? He says, all right, I will accept the gift. You please stay here tonight and tomorrow you go. So what does this man do? In the night he digs a tunnel like a mouse, like rats that dig a burrow in the earth. Like that this man digs a tunnel and makes sure that they are out in the night, because that night the Laksha Graha is set to fire. Lakka means wax. It's kind of a wax. So it burns and these people. And what they do, the 5 of the guards of Duryodhana only get burned there and they think these Pandavas have died. So that time they were innocent. They did not have any idea. They were totally dependent on Krishna's grace. They had no idea. But change the situation now and think of it when they got back their kingdom and then they are now been invited. They made a whole kingdom for themselves. They had very good time, good life. At that point in time, they forgot Krishna. Because that is what happens. The mind is now peaceful. Dukha mein samiran sab kare. Sukh mein kare na koi. They forgot Krishna. And then what happened? When Duryodhana was inviting Pandavas for this dice, by going by their past experience, should they not think twice? This Duryodhana fellow is a very scheming fellow, and that Shakuni is sitting by his side. This is not an ordinary invite. There is something is wrong in this. Should we not consult Krishna once before accepting the invite? But Dharmaraja accept the invite. No, I am the king. I am being invited. I will go. And everybody is bound by their karmas. You are born in the same family. You are tied to the same husbands. Everybody's karma is shared. So because of the decision of Dharmaraja, all the brothers followed. Nobody stopped him. Nobody questioned. Even Draupadi did not question. She also went with them. Nobody remembered Krishna. Let us consult Krishna once at least. Having gone through so many things in the past where Krishna alone saved us, Ajñātavasa Krishna said, in fact, Draupadi came to Pandavas because of Krishna. So let me ask Krishna once before going. They didn't think because they were so filled with their kind of an arrogance that now they're kings. And they suffered. And even when they were losing, they did not remember Krishna. Look at the Pandavas' plight. The only time they remembered is Draupadi remembered. That too when she tried asking her husbands to save her, couldn't. Asked the Kuru Vamsha elders to save her, couldn't. She tried her own strength to save her, couldn't. Then the final resort was Krishna. Then the moment she remembered, Krishna came, isn't it? So he saved her. Krishna didn't say, why you didn't call me first? I can't help you now. You should have learned from the past, you arrogant Pandavas. He could have dropped her there and walked away. That is when Krishna would have made them suffer. But this suffering was their own. Tapatraya, as we call. Sufferings are made of our own. Because of our own karmas, because of the people around us whom we are associated with, because of the devatas whom we have not pleased. Tapatraya is because of that. So this Tapatraya was their own creation. All this is as long as you think of Dvaita. In Advaita, everything is Leela. So that doesn't, but you cannot stay on earth and talk about the skies. You become that and then talk about that. Then you have the deservedness. Then everything becomes a Leela and no questions asked at all. But till then, so somebody has also written, is it Krishna's will that they had to suffer like that? Because everything, Trinameva, without your will, even blade of grass does not move. So people apply this logic. Did Krishna decide that Draupadi should be humiliated so badly in the court? Did Krishna cause the war and get so many killed? Made Pandavas suffer at the hands? So the question is that at the Advaita Bhava, everything will look like a Leela. There is no question asked. Chintete Sarva Samshaya. You don't have a questions asked. You know everything is Leela. Taranga is on the ocean. No separate text. Duryodhana also is Krishna. The Dharmaraja is also Krishna. Draupadi is also Krishna. Who is male? Who is female? Nothing exists there. Who is being humiliated? Who is being praised? Who lost the kingdom? Who gained the kingdom? Who died and who lived? Questions only don't arise in Advaita. But in Dvaita Bhava, where we all are existing, we have to apply the Dvaita logic over there. And Dvaita logic says that unless you learn to remember God at all times and seek His counsel, remember Him, be dedicated, you will go through what you have to go through. And that is what happened. Next time when Krishna went to Duryodhana and tried to advise him, look, this war is no good, because Krishna knew Duryodhana is going to suffer the most, not the Pandavas. Their kingdom will get wiped. Kuru dynasty, Kauravas will get wiped, Pandavas will not get wiped. He knew that. So he tried to advise Duryodhana, let us not fight a war. You negotiate. Did Duryodhana listen in his arrogance? So how can Krishna be at fault? Krishna did what was required by Dharma at that juncture. Isn't it? So that is how Krishna came in. When you call God as Apad Bandhava, you have to come with that surrender. When Draupadi forgot surrender, Dharmaraja forgot surrender, Pandavas forgot Krishna, they suffered. When they remembered Krishna and sought refuge again, he helped them win an impossible war. Impossible war he made them win. At every step it was Krishna alone. How did Bhishma die at the hands of Arjuna? Krishna. How did Drona die? Krishna. Kripacharya die? Krishna. Even Duryodhana died because of Krishna's tactics. You think these people could have been killed? You think Arjuna could have killed Bhishmacharya, Karna, Dronacharya? No way, no way. It's Krishna who stood by their side and said, now that you have taken refuge in me, I will help you. But the moment they forgot Krishna, they all suffered. So that is the lesson from Mahabharata for ordinary people. That you be with Krishna, remember Krishna, you will not go through these sufferings at all. But if you forget him and you act according to your wish, then you suffer. So it's like same Lakshmana, Lakshmana was surrendered, so he had the right to tell Rama, please don't tell me to choose. But did Dharmaraja remember Krishna like that? Before accepting the game of dice, he didn't remember. So he suffered. Still Krishna's compassion that when he was called, he came and saved Draupadi. He could have as well left things as it is. But he came and saved and then again got them their kingdom back. So, and why Pandavas were born in such a way, why they suffered, their Purva Janmas are there. Because of that, they were born in a certain family, to a certain father, to a certain mother, and they had to go through what they had to go through. Now, what you did in the Purva Janma, based on that, you choose your soul comes to the family, the parents. So, you are born in a rich family with good people, pure-hearted, or you are born in a family like that. It all depends on your Purva Janma samskaras. So, that also was coming from there. So, they had to go through what they had to go through because of their Purva Janma and the present some karmas, but yet Krishna was by their side and helped them at every step. So Krishna didn't make them suffer. They suffered and Krishna made them not suffer by being by their side all the time. Yesterday I told about Draupadi's story. The moment she remembered Krishna in the forest, he appeared and saved them from Durvasa. When has Krishna not saved Pandavas? You understand? Ma? Krishna was always compassionate. Manamu, if we look at him, the way we look at him, that is how he becomes for us. To Kamsa, he couldn't withstand the name of Krishna. His body will shake and shiver, it seems. The moment somebody mentions Krishna. Ravana. But same Gopikas, pure-hearted, they saw Krishna good in everything. Krishna is always good for them. Somebody has also written a question. Some bhaktas are there, but they engage in some bad habits. So are they bhaktas or not bhaktas? I told Ravana was also a bhakta, Shiva bhakta was there. But he was also engaged in bad habits. So what happened to him? Same thing will happen to those on one side who do bhakti, on the other side they do bhukti. They're neither iha nor para. That's what happens to them. So, bhakta yadrishti tad tata srishti. The way you see the God, that is how he will appear to you. To Ravana, Rama was the killer, slayer. To Vibhishana, he was the refuge. To Gopikas, Krishna was love and love alone. To Kamsa, it's all hatred. So it depends on what we are. So God looks like that to us. But truth is that never ever God has done any harm to anyone. Will not do also. He only does what is dharma. Now, dharma may sound good to some and not good to others. That is their own individual perception. But God is only for establishing dharma and ultimately leading everybody to this path where they can go to and reach their divine selves. That is the ultimate purpose of all incarnations, all masters. They are not interested in how much money you have made, how wealthy you are, how many children you have. They are not interested. They may encourage you, like Arti Artharti category. They encourage you just to make you feel attracted towards them. They give you what you ask so that one day you will ask what they have come to give. That's all. To that extent only God entertains your achievements and accomplishments, not beyond that. It's bubble for him. What is that? So let us not think that way, that God can ever do any harm or wants anybody to suffer. God is the only person truly who never wants anybody to suffer. He wants everybody to be happy. But there is a way in which you can be happy. And that is what he teaches you. This is the way you can be happy. And therefore, follow these paths, bhakti, jnana, karma, whichever suits your ways, whichever makes you happy. Take to that path, stick to that path. And follow it with sincerity. Do a lot of swadhyaya. Read. That's why I always read the lives of other bhaktas. Because they have walked on this path. They have gone through what you are going through. So it's a nice little kind of a guide. And you know that these are the situations they went through, and therefore I may also go through. So you already get answers to many questions when you go through the lives of other saints and great Mahatmas, devotees. So this Swadhyaya you must do. And then you will not have these many questions. You yourself have understood half of these questions are not questions at all. But that needed somebody to sit down and really think. If you thought and meditated, you would have got the answer for yourself. Or at least if you've done Swadhyaya, somewhere, sometime, it's been spoken about. So read a lot of good things. Every day, actually, Swadhyaya to me is everyday affair. Everybody should read every day. Something. It elevates you. If you can't read a book, then you meet somebody or sit with somebody who is jnani and learn something from them. But it cannot happen that every day you spend the whole 24 hours and you don't find time to read something good. That cannot be right. That is not fair. Because the main reason you are here is only to learn spirituality. All others are supposed to help you. Now forgetting that, you do everything else. And you forget this main thing. That cannot be the way. So I just wanted to instigate, I just wanted to kind of ignite this idea of bhakti, of swadhyaya, of spiritual practices. So we started this Geetha Gnana Yajna just to bring back. Now it's so easy. Earlier books were not available, on these topics. Today everything is on your phone and your pads and your Kindle, everything. You can just use that as walking, talking. Even 10 minutes you can open and read another 2 shlokas. And that will help you. So develop that habit, that thinking. For that sake, this session. This session is not needed for me. It's not needed for Narasimhamurthy. It's needed for those who are yet to start or they are just starting. So do make good use of this time very well. Most of the time we complain we don't have time for God. Isn't it? Most of the time we are so busy, and today when there is so much time, you have to utilize it well.
ఎప్పుడొచ్చావంటూ ప్రశ్నించునొకసారి బాగుంటివాయుంచు పలుకరించు ఎందుకున్నావని అడుగునొకసారి నాకంత తెలుసునుని నవ్వుచుండు తనకు తెలియనట్లు తలద్రుపనొకసారి ఆశీషులందించు అందముగము తెలుసుకోమని నొక్కి చెప్పుకసారి, బంగారు అని పిలిచి బ్రతిమలాడు, బంగారు అని పిలిచి బ్రతిమలాడు. అంత దగ్గరయని పెంచి అహము పెంచు, మోకరిల్లెదమనుకొన్న మోహము త్రిప్పు. సరిగా ఎరుగము మనమెప్పుడు సాయి మనసు, సరిగా ఎరుగము మనమెప్పుడు సాయి మనసు. మధురమూర్తికి మృకుటే మనకు తెలుసు, మధురమూర్తికి మృకుటే మనకు తెలుసు. ఆనా ఆ
అణువున కణ కణమున నిండి ఉన్న సదయ హృదయ
घनश्याम सुंदर साई आनंद प्रदाई नांदला रास ధ్యానించలేని దేహమేలను నిన్నే పూజించలేని కరములేలను కనువిందుగా నిన్ను చూడని కన్నులేలను కనువిందుగా నిన్ను చూడని కన్నులేలను నిన్నే మరచి నిందలంచని జన్మమేలను నిన్ను తలవని నిన్ను పిలువని జీవమేల జిహ్వమేల నిన్ను తలవని నిన్ను పిలువని జీవమేల జిహ్వమేల మధుర మోహన ఘనశ్యామ సుందర సాయి